Let's go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
Good morning, top of the morning in sunny California. Well, we're back. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you live. You know how we do it around here, folks. Nothing but straight talk you're going to get up in here. My co-hosts are the wonderful, the fabulous Mr. Keith Swanson. He's still the AI man. You know, he came into existence before most people knew what AI was, and people were looking for him. They said, I don't believe Keith is really a real person. I believe he's AI. Well, Keith, they never caught up with you. You've been in the crowd using your same voice. I said, if you got catch him and call me, you got money on the table. Never got it. So how you doing, Keith?
I'm doing good. They got pictures of me giving Dr. Rosie a hug at her book fair. So
they didn't even catch you.
They didn't catch me.
I guess AI is like that. You can't catch it. It's invisible.
We're everywhere and invisible at the same time.
Well, Keith, I'm not going to even ask you yet how you're feeling these days with all the stuff that's going on. Oh, my God, airplane doors falling off the airplane.
Oh, yeah.
Technology failing us. Man, I think we must be coming to the end of time. I better go spend my little money. I better go
end of times as we know it.
But you really better pull some money out the bank. You better keep some money on you. And my other co-host is Shawana Bordenay. She's a real estate girl. She buy houses, sell houses, flip houses. She does everything to houses. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fabulous, Dr. Rosie. Yes, it's a great day. My birthday was yesterday. It has to be good.
Wow, that is so wonderful. Well, happy belated birthday.
Well, thank you.
Well, you guys, it's so much going on. We have a great show for you today. You know, we are going to talk about, my topic today is President Joe Biden threw a monkey wrench in the 2024 presidential 2024 election. The question is this: what will Donald Trump's strategy be if he wants to beat Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential race? And I think this is going to be the most exciting race since who, Keith? I think it was like that during Obama because he was, one of the first black men who ran. I think with a lot of excitement around that.
Something similar. When Al Gore ran against George Bush Jr. and it came down to neck and neck, but I don't think this one will be that close. But
wow, I think we're going to have more registered voters this year because I think when Obama ran for president, we had a lot of new people who registered to vote. I think we're going to have a lot of new voters this year.
Your biggest increase in voters was actually the COVID year when they actually mailed out the ballots. That was your biggest increase. I don't think it'll be quite that big.
Okay.
It's just me looking at it because people aren't indoors. In 2020, people are indoors and they couldn't go anywhere. And so they had nothing to do except to look at, this campaign, and they mailed out all the ballots. And and stuff like that. So you had that big surge in in voting. But I don't know if you'll see it this year.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of empathy. People have
Hmm.
lost trust and hope in the government, even in the
Hmm.
presidential election, because of like the voter fraud, suppression of
Hmm.
voting. People just kind of turn off and feeling of apathy. So I don't know if that's going to be a real charge
Hmm.
during this election or not. But one thing I do know, in a minute we're going to bring Brother Keith on. That's our guest, Keith. That's
Okay.
our
Oh,
guest, Keith.
yes. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to bring him on. I think we're going to have a lively conversation because
Ooh
we're
boy.
going to look at gender. We're going to look at what black women want and what black men want. Quite
Hmm.
interesting.
Hmm.
Battle against the sexes when it comes to the political election. Men, they think different. They think we just don't think things out. We're
Yeah.
very emotional. We look at it one side while they
Hmm.
sit back in that chair and they really analyze stuff while we're doing something different. We're going to talk
Hello.
about that battle of the sexes when it comes to political.
Yeah, and I think I think what's coming down to, and I think is what's being apparent is since the 1980s, I think black men and black women have different needs
Uh-huh.
and wants, and then it's just been exacerbated over the past 40 years. So they're almost like in two different camps. What black men want versus what black women want are becoming increasingly different.
That's a show all by itself, isn't it?
It
Well,
it, it is.
It
It
is.
I
is.
Yeah,
I
I
hope
agree.
I hope we don't have uh, a lot of divorces behind this damn election.
We can't get any worse. You got to remember that the black divorce rate is about 70%, and the
Ooh,
average
don't.
the average black marriage lasts like 5 years. So I don't think hopefully it doesn't get any worse. Hopefully it gets better
Yeah, I
because
don't know.
I don't think it can get any worse.
Well, let me give this number out before we get started because I know a lot of people want to flap their jaws. Everybody talking. Y'all better get back to work. Y'all better make sure your kids can read. Y'all better make sure that mortgage note is paid. Make sure you show up on your business at time. Everybody have dropped everything now, and everybody's so political astute. That's what's so funny to me. And if
Yeah.
you ask them for report cards, see what I feel in this election.
Hmm.
What we need to be looking at is not different candidates throwing rocks at each other. You did
Hmm.
this and you did that. No, no. We need report card. We need report card flashed on the screen. What
Hmm.
did you do when you were there?
Yeah.
And what are you going to do now? We don't need to hear none of that other stuff about who church somebody booed in, who said this, and who called somebody's name. I don't give a shit about that. That's not what we need to hear.
They got that Dr. Rosie cussing up in here. Uh
Yeah, yeah. I hope my pastor ain't
That's
listening.
right.
oh.
That
You
boy
know
get.
it's
That's
serious.
right.
You know
I've
it's
been put
serious.
out of churches. I can't hardly go to none of them, so I better tone myself down so I can get to heaven, okay? Because it's hell down here, so ain't no need of me going to
Yeah.
a second hell. But I'm really serious. We need to know what you've done. It's time for report card. Not none of that other stuff. And I know what a lot of black men are going to bring up. They're going to bring up the issue how she performed as as a prosecutor attorney in relation to black men. I know that's going to come up all over the place, but black men have been mishandled uh, by everybody. But I guess they didn't expect it from a black woman. So we'll just see what's happening. I'm going to throw this number out here, and then I'm going to take some calls. The number is 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. If you're at work and you want to email us because you know you can't be saying what you need to say, sitting up on the white man's job. Now, y'all know that, okay? So you can email us here at innerlight, INNER, innerlightradio@yahoo.com. So I think we have two callers on hold already. Do we have a caller on hold, Keith?
Hold on. Yeah, I think we do.
Okay, caller, unmute. I know Keith is out there. He's been holding. Go ahead,
We
unmute.
have a 310 number and we got a 323 number. 310. If you want to unmute
Give
and
us
have a
your name.
comment, I guess they're waiting to get into. Go ahead. What's
Go
your name?
ahead.
Well, this is 323. You want
Okay.
me?
Yeah,
Go
go ahead.
Okay. Yes, Rosie. I mean, Dr. Rosie.
It's Keith,
we,
right?
yeah, this is Keith.
Okay.
Yes, this is Keith. You know, it's very. I'd also like to, hear what people have to say about that, the relation with black men and Harris when she was Attorney General here, in California.
Ooh, that's a big one.
I'd like to. I'm curious. I really am because
Okay.
we talk a lot about us being victims of the justice system, and she was a part of that.
Yes, she
so
was. Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear what other people say about that before I, interject anything that I'd have to say.
They're hiding that because that's something Tulsi Gabbard actually ruined Kamala Harris's first presidential campaign in 2018, I do believe. Had her really drop out of the race after she kind of revealed that. And it's when I looked it up, it's actually true. She
Wow.
did lock up like 15 to 20,000 black men on marijuana charges. She did do that. She actually delayed the release of prisoners for the actually I think during a couple of fires. And the prisoners were actually supposed to be released. She actually delayed their release so they could actually go out there and fight the fires illegally. Okay, she did that. She locked up single mothers because the kids not reporting to school. But if they were delinquent, she actually went to
Right, she
went to the
threatened the
house,
parents. Right.
threatened the parents, and she locked a few of
With
them
jail
up.
time.
With jail time, yeah. So yeah, she got some baggage, and then I think there's a few people that she hid evidence that she released a few people that were actually on death row. So she's
Right.
got some baggage.
She defended California's death penalty system.
Yeah. There's
when
a lot of
she was the Attorney General. Yeah.
Yeah, she got
And
baggage.
No,
she seriously had a war on drugs against the black and the Latino communities.
Yep.
Ooh. Now, you said she defended the death penalty, or because it
Yes.
seemed like she was against it.
No,
Oh,
she
man.
defended it. No.
She opposed to the death penalty.
Yeah. In fact, she hid evidence and all kinds of stuff right there.
Yeah.
And only half
Yeah.
of it came out. And so
Yeah.
they're trying to hide that right now.
Well, I know Trump gonna bring it out. Okay.
Oh yes,
Right.
it's already coming out. It's already over the Tulsi Gabbard's speech. In fact, they did it during the debate. It's being flashed all over Twitter and all over YouTube right now.
Really?
Mm-hmm. It's all over.
Who you think she's gonna pick
Well,
for
let me-
her running mate?
That is a good question.
Oh,
We
my
might not know.
gosh.
We probably won't know until the
Please.
convention.
They're saying that she's talking about Newsom, but I mean, to me, the new law that passed with him was horrible. It really was.
But
I'm so
Dr.
against that.
Dr. Anderson always talk about symbolism. I can't help but to think about him so much today because we really look at things symbolic. I was talking to Carl. You guys know Carl Martin. We had a chat this morning. We talked about people don't realize that everything is based on business and the law. And the business tend to control
It does.
how the laws are made and passed. Dr. Anderson told us that. That's why, you talk about the police, they protect and serve, but their major job is to protect the businesses, institutions, not you. Okay?
To keep order. That's the biggest
To
thing.
keep order, to keep you from doing any damage to stuff that other people to businesses. Okay.
Yeah. What the thing is that if it's not just to them, but also if you want to open society like we have, where you don't have to have stores or your possessions behind walls, okay, then you need police.
Exactly. Well, you know what is interesting now? The other Keith, our guest Keith, we had a little chat earlier before the show started, and he told me he's all excited about Trump winning this election. He feel like hey, it's just going to happen. So Keith, talk to me. Why you say that?
Okay, basically, there's two things
No,
going
not Keith. It's the other Keith.
Oh, other Keith.
Our
Okay.
guest Keith told me that he's voting for Trump, and he think Trump is going to win, and he think the black men are going to vote for Trump. Now, I understand Sunday night they had over 40,000 women. I'm not going to say black women, but I guess most of them are black. That was on a Zoom call. They started out with a small amount, had to upload, and they said they felt they could have gotten 40 more thousand because there were still people who couldn't get in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm fascinated to think within a 12-hour period you can gather that many black women and get them on Zoom. I wish they would have let me put my little plug in there about getting a living trust. You know what I'm saying? how
Well,
to
Well,
talk about
that's not just a
generational.
plug; it's something that they need.
Yeah, talking about
The living
yeah.
trust. Yes.
generational
Mhm.
wealth. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, so I heard that last night there was another Zoom call, and I heard through the grapevine that now the black men, they having their, the women got their 40,000. Let us get our 40,000. Let us.
Mm-hmm.
They had a Zoom meeting last night. I heard. I don't know. I'm just talking about
Mm-hmm.
what I heard right now. But Keith, our guest, you told me
Yeah.
that without a doubt, Donald Trump is going to win this election, and
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
and that's who you want to win. Now, I need you to talk to me. Why do you want Donald Trump to win this election when a black woman is running? Somebody who looks like you.
Well, I tell you, I think you know me well enough to know that skin color is irrelevant to me. It is not about
Mhm.
skin color. It's about principle. It's about ideas, and that's what I've always been about. For example, the ideas of our founding fathers. When I say founding father, I'm talking about the architects of this form of government that we're operating. Well, we're not operating under the form of government that they gave us right now, because it's interesting to note that Joe Biden says that Trump is destroying democracy. But you see, on the other side, it's actually the Democrats who are destroying democracy, because Kamala Harris, number one, she is appointed. She has been appointed because Biden says he can't finish the race. Well, if he can't finish the race, he shouldn't be in office right now. Why is he? How can he finish? How can he still be in office to the end when he can't finish? He can't even, run for president. So my point is, they have delegates that all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they all signed up and said, "Okay, we're going to go with Kamala Harris." So where's the vote? Where are the people? What are the Democrats? I'm talking about people like yourselves who may support the Democrats. Where's your vote? Where's your, who's heard from you? Nobody. So, and they never hear from you. They're just going to appoint. But see, we have to go back to what the Electoral College says, and I think that's what's going to happen. Going to have
Wait,
to go with.
excuse me, someone had the mic open. Please close your mic.
If you don't close your mic, then or mute, then the engineer will have to drop you.
Yeah.
Okay,
So,
thank you.
and I think it's important to know that when I go with Trump, I'm going back to the covenant of our founders, the covenant of contract that they have with the Almighty Creator, and that is that Declaration of Independence, that all men are created equal, that the laws of nature would be the discerning factor of how our government should work, and we're not following that right now. We've broken the covenant with our Creator, and this is the payment that we're getting. We're seeing judgment right now over this nation. And for those of you who have ears to hear, you can understand what I'm saying, that God is going to judge a nation when they don't follow his covenant, his law. His covenant laws that we do not follow are going to be our demise. And that's what's happening to the Democrat Party right now. They are, just falling apart. They're in confusion. They're in dismay because they have gone the wrong direction. They have gone against the covenant. So that is my primary reason.
But now, when you say the covenant, give one thing that the listeners may know who may not follow the Bible, who don't believe in it or haven't even heard of it. So what are you talking about? What did they go against that's causing this judgment? And the other thing I want to ask you, because someone said to me that they believe that Kamala was going to win the election, that it was playing out scripture that the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So come on now, since we talk about the Bible. I'm just saying. So go ahead, Keith.
Hilarious.
Oh, I love it. I appreciate you guys giving me this a little bit of time here. I mean by covenant, I'll give you an example. Here's a perfect example. And this is the Constitution of the United States. That is our contract. That along with the Declaration of Independence. They work interchangeably. And,
wait, Keith, do you think God had something that's not like the Ten Commandments? You act as if that the covenant is something that God handed down, that it's biblical.
Yes, it is biblical. The Constitution is a biblical document. If you study it, if you read it, most people, and particularly blacks, have not been taught this, what I'm about to tell you. But if you look at I'm giving you the example in Article 1 of the Constitution where it talks about the laws, talking about the laws. That's the laws of nature, meaning the laws of God. The laws of nature refer to the laws of God. God reveals himself in nature, and he reveals himself in Scripture. So that's what they mean by the laws of nature and of nature's God. That's in the Declaration of Independence and in the Constitution. So there's no reason to be confused about it. It says that he shall take care, talking about the president, this is Article 2, I'm sorry. He shall take care that the laws be faithfully executed. And what laws is he talking about? The laws that were made by the legislature according that do not conflict with the laws of nature and nature's God, meaning God's law. Any legislative law that is made should not contradict God's law. Simple.
Okay,
That's so simple.
So, Keith,
Yeah,
that's
just like the sister. Just like
the
the
beginning
sister
of
here
time,
said.
even when the Constitution was written, So
Yeah.
think, what about all these people who don't believe in such a thing as God? We have some real issues here.
Oh, well, I am so glad you said that. I am so glad. Let me tell you something, Dr. Rosie. This is something I just found out. I mean, I've understood. God has given me revelation knowledge about this, and I want to share it with everybody. In the book of Genesis, it talks about Genesis chapter 39, talks about Joseph, who was sold into slavery by his own brothers. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it? Anyway, he was sold into slavery by his own brothers. And so when he went into Potiphar's house, he became the ruler of that house. Meaning he became the chief, the head Negro in charge, so to speak. And he, as a result, because of his covenant with God, because he had a covenant with God, God allowed this, so God could bless not only Joseph, he blessed Potiphar's house. And every Potiphar had lands, and he had cattle and everything. So God blessed the entire house of Potiphar. Potiphar was the head assassin. I mean, not assassin, but he was the head guy that took out people. He was working for Pharaoh.
Right.
And
Keith,
so anyway,
I'm going to give you a few more seconds on this because a lot of people don't believe in God, don't believe in the Bible.
No, I'm trying. I'm trying to get to that point.
Okay.
So Potiphar represents non-believers. He was not a believer. Joseph was a believer. So a non-believer enslaved the believer. But guess what? The non-believer still got blessed because he was kind and gentle with the believer, meaning Joseph. He treated Joseph right. He treated him and let Joseph be the head guy in his house. So all I have to say about that is whether you are a non-believer or a believer, you can be blessed as long as the believers are the ones who are doing what is right.
Doing the right thing.
Benefit. Yeah.
Okay. It says when the righteous ruleth, the people rejoices.
People rejoice. Yeah.
Okay. Let me stay on with it, but let me go back. You guys, but you said you want Donald Trump to win. I just sum it up in one sentence and tell me why black men are excited about Donald Trump.
Well, Donald Trump represents the kind of manhood that black men have been sort of excoriated and put down for. The kind of what I mean by that is, he shows a strength. He shows a certain swag in his walk. He shows, the kind of strength that black men, not just black men, let me put it this way, men in our society have been excoriated for. And they call it toxic manhood, or toxic masculinity. You heard of that. Everybody's heard that. So that toxic masculinity is what Trump represents. And that is a godly characteristic because God sent men to be rulers of their house. He sent men to be protectors of the house, especially the protector part. That's where Trump shows a strength. His strongest his strongest characteristic is his ability.
So in other words, Trump is something that black men want to be.
He's more traditional.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
sound like you.
But he also
agree with
signed the
that.
first. He also signed the First Step Act as well, that helped black individuals to get rehabilitation as opposed to prison time. You know,
Thank
so
you.
There's a reason for that, but but yeah.
See, that's what I
he
mean,
did
you
it.
guys.
And
That's
then we're talking about the Democrats. Let's go there. I want to go there with Governor Newsom because, you know, in the Genesis, we talked about Genesis just now. Genesis 1:27, that God created created humans in His image, male and female. Today they are passing laws that I am so against, and it's the Democrats that passed this law where children can go with a pronoun. What are they teaching the children at an early age, thinking that a child can sit up there and make decisions? What's going to happen when they decide to have sex with these children at under 18? What is the reason for it? There's a purpose. When rules are passed and laws are passed, there's a reason for it, and it's because they are doing wrong things to our children and making it okay and trying to pass these laws without even being gone against. So I'm totally against it. Genesis speaks of that. Deuteronomy forbids cross-dressing. There is an abomination. All of these things that are happening right now, and they are okay with it. They're pushing it, and they're changing the course of our world right now.
In other words, they call that the woke agenda. That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, something has to stop. Something
You're
has
saying
to
the
stop.
Democrats are doing that, right?
Yeah,
they
Democrats.
Are. They are.
It started with Obama in 2011 with the Dear Colleague letter. So
right,
that's
why
definitely.
That's why
that's against God's laws. That's against God's laws. Period.
Okay, that's why I said to God, during this election, I want the public to be very aware. We don't need to hear. We need to know your report card. Number one, what was your? You know, when you get ready to go to college, when you go to college, they want to see what? They want to see your high school record, right? They want to see what you did before you got here. Okay?
Right.
That's what we need to look at. And what are you doing now? So when you line up all of those things that's beneficial to the world as a nation as a whole, then that's what people need to be looking at, not just what benefit one race, not just what benefit a certain segment. Unless we look at a report card, we're going to make some bad decisions. We may wind up, I guess we can't, no such thing as wind up without a president. I just don't know. So many new things happening. We may have a we may have a vacancy in the White House.
That would be crazy.
We just might have a vacancy in the White House. Speaker of the House may have to step up. Really, real man, please stand up. You guys, we're in for a long ride, as my dad say, a long haul. But what do you think? Donald Trump's strategy is going to be now? Because 100 days out, you know, this is interesting.
Not to mess up, not to step on his tongue and make a mistake.
But he got to come back probably and do damage because he already called Kamala. I heard on the news this morning he said she was dumb. He didn't already start.
He ain't the first one.
She's going against him, calling him a felon. So I mean, you have to. You can't sit up there and fault somebody for saying something if they're wrong. But if we talk about the economic policies, he's talking about tax cut. He's talking about economic growth, something that we need. He's talking about the migrants not just being settling and taking the jobs of our people here in the United States and Asia. They're taking money away from our system, from the Social Security system, and giving it away. And what's going to happen? What's going to happen with our Social Security system? What's going to happen? It has to be stopped. I mean,
sound like I hear Donald Trump voting.
I'm voting for Donald. I'm putting it out there. I am.
I think it's less about Donald Trump and anti-Biden. I think she doesn't like Biden's policies. I think it's less about Donald Trump. I think it's
not about if a proper Democrat comes in, then I will vote. I cannot even imagine. I'll be very honest with you, and I shouldn't be putting it out there like this, but I am. I don't really like the smiling and the laughing, especially when we have such huge things going on in our world right now. We can't have a president laughing at everything, because this is not something that's funny. This is something that's very serious. If you're going to take on the presidential role, you have to play the presidential role. It can't be happy-go-lucky. This is something that's very serious.
She has never been presidential, and that's the problem with her, and that's what everybody's saying.
She's not.
That's how come Barack Obama really does not want her to be a candidate, because she's got a lot of negatives. But the things that has
they would have done better bringing Michelle Obama. I mean, she's such a.
She would have won thumb down, but she wasn't going to do that.
They asked her to run a year and a half ago. Michelle Obama doesn't want to be president, and then she said that. She stood on that. Otherwise, they would have went to her. If they could have got her, they'd have got her.
Yeah.
No, she's too busy. She's too busy enjoying the good life, man.
I don't blame her.
Well, she never
a lot of work.
She didn't like the White House when she was in it 8 years, and she doesn't want to go back to it. So that's not her thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. It was interesting that Shawana is saying that she's. I think a lot of people are going to be Republican. People are going to be lying. You know, that's why I don't pay people any attention. They out there waving signs when they go inside that poll. Because see, black people want everybody to think the same. We got to all be Republican, all be Democratic. Dr. Anderson said when you play that piano, you got to play the black keys and the white keys. Now, if millions, all these women gather themselves together, if you're going to do it, I wouldn't make it public. I'd find a way that the public would know that all the black women coming together to do this. Because then when a person get in power, why would they even think about anything that you proposing to them? See, people don't understand that. Sometimes we put what we're doing out there too much. It should be like an underground railroad that all these black women, the powerhouses, you know, the Beyonce, the this and that, they just raving because people call me, did you get on? I know, I was doing some work because I'm not, you know, I want to see 40,000 black women come to L.A. and say, y'all going to get these black folks from under these tents because it's unproportionately represented. Now, if they stand strong, I guarantee you the street would be cleaned up in less than 6 months. If 40,000 high-powered women would come to L.A., we would see a difference. But I'm just saying. But anyway, what do you think Biden's strategy is going to be? So I guess it is going to be
Biden
or Trump.
I mean, Trump. I guess it is going to be some mudslinging. People like mudslinging, don't they?
Not to mess up. Not to mess up, but let Kamala basically ruin her own self because her record will come out.
Yeah, I think Trump will do better.
That too.
Now, the thing is, don't mess it up. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, don't talk.
You know, and I'll be honest. I'm an independent voter, but I look at what's put in front of me. I look at what they represent. I look at what's going to help our country, because what's going to help our country is what's most important. I'm not directed by someone telling me to vote this way or that way because you're a Democrat or because you're a Republican. I was raised a Republican, but I am an independent voter. Really? I vote for who I feel is right, yes.
You're raised a Republican? I would never guess.
I was raised Democrat. I'm sorry. I was raised Democrat.
I was going to say.
I was raised Democrat, and I vote for who I feel is proper.
Well,
I did vote for Obama both times, but today I'm going to vote differently.
Well, you know what? It's no time. I'm going to say this, folks. It is no time for you to be persuaded about who to vote for in this election. You need a track record. You need to study. You can't listen to just what you hear people say because they're in power. We've done that for years. The minister get up and tell you who to vote for. You don't even have to read your packet. So they tell you who to vote for. You need to know what's in your best interest. How does the policies impact not just you, but how will it impact your next generation? Folks, that is critical. If no time like ever before that we need to understand the policy, we truly need to understand not what they're saying on TV. Follow their record.
Mm-hmm.
You can
That's what's
Google a lot of
important.
stuff about them. Even, I mean, it's out there.
Mhm.
It's public stuff about both of them. That's
Mm-hmm.
what you got the
Yeah.
internet for. You can find out
Mhm.
whatever you want to find out about these two people. So don't be
Mm-hmm.
guided by the politicians who are telling you your
Mhm.
representative, we got to go here. You know, it's
Mm-hmm.
dangerous for someone to say, well, we got to do this because we want to make the symbolism that we can show the world we got a black person in the White House. Mm. Let's take
And
some
Dr.
calls.
Earl,
But 1 second, let me give it the number out again. That's 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. Go ahead, Keith.
and you know what amazes me too, because I grew up in South Central, South LA. I grew up in
Mm-hmm.
the hood, and I've seen a lot of change. And of course I'm 68 years old, so I'm old school. I go way back. So back in the 70s and so forth. And I just want to say that I'm really impressed, and I've got to say this publicly. The hip hop generation, at least the early part of it, Snoop Dogg, he came out for Trump. He comes out for Trump, Snoop Dogg, publicly. And I said, what?
Snoop Dogg?
I mean, Snoop Dogg came out
50
for
Cent?
Trump, 50 Cent, see, Ice Cube said good things about Trump. These guys are, these are the old school. These guys are, from way back. So
They're also toxic masculineness too. So
Okay,
yeah,
you guys.
that's exactly. Thank you,
Okay,
Keith. Thank you.
we got
That's
a
what
new
I was
caller.
talking.
You guys hold tight. Let's take a new caller. Caller, go ahead. Caller, go ahead. 323, go ahead.
I don't think they're online. Okay.
All right. So we got a lot of people. Some people saying the people that's coming out for
Okay, we
Trump.
just got a new caller.
Okay.
323.
Caller, go ahead.
Caller.
Caller?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes,
we got you. What's your name?
Good morning. It's Len.
Okay.
Hi,
Go on,
Lynn.
Lynn.
Thank you. I'm listening to the conversation. Just had a few comments to make.
Okay,
Oh,
go
jump
ahead,
in.
Lynn.
Thank you. Blessings to you. The problem here is, we're talking about 50 Cent and Snoop Dogg, and we need to get past.
Okay.
I mean, come on. We need to get past these clowns.
They're
I won't even
influential.
call them clowns. I
They're
won't even call them clowns.
And Ice Cube is very influential, so I wouldn't,
Well, he's influential, but he has one vote. The thing is, we need to get past the entertainment, get into the economics and the finances and stuff like that. Get past this entertainment stuff, like these guys know anything. The problem is, let me make a quick point.
Okay.
My real point is, we have here in America an antiquated, corrupt, incompetent, dysfunctional system. For instance, the Chinese, they're so-called political people in charge of certain, areas like city council, the state, our counterparts, county boards. They are promoted based on how much commerce that they increase in their individual areas, how much employment is increased, how much social good is increased, how much commerce increased, how much more business is done that benefits that locale and the country as a whole. Here, our system is totally inadequate. It's corrupt, and we get the worst people because our system isn't based on earning. Our system is based on who gets the most money, who gets paid off the most, who gets the most campaign contributions. There should be no politicians, and that's our problem. There should be no politician elected or even able to run unless he decreases, say for instance, decreases homelessness by 15%. We don't have that. So we're talking about Snoop Dogg, and we're talking about who's most popular and who's black and who has the most money. And it's an antiquated system, and the country as a whole, including local politics, we lose. And that's my until we demand a different system, we're going to be stuck with this. We're going to be stuck with nothing. America as a declining power, and that's exactly what it is.
And Lynn, what you're saying is what I've been saying all along, that it needs to be report card time. That's why I say instead of all the mudslinging that the public is going to be listened to, they need to demand. We don't want to hear about that. We want to hear, roll it down the screen where people can see it like a PowerPoint. This is what you have done so far. And then on this side, this is what you plan on doing if you are the president. That's what the people need to see. They don't need to know about all this other stuff. But your actual report card now, that needs to come down. Your past report card and what you plan on doing when you get to college, because you'll graduate from high school.
I agree. Thank you. Thank you for letting me participate. Have a good day.
But Lynn, the thing is, you're comparing a liberal society to an ordered society. Do you want to live in an ordered society like China and Russia? You want to live in an ordered society?
We need what I'm saying is we don't need China and Russia's system. We need something other than what we have. We can do better than we can devise something other than what we have, because what we have only benefits Elon Musk and Bill Gates and the billionaires and the corporations.
You can't have.
It's sucking all of us down.
You can't have one without the other.
Well, that's what people are saying. They're saying that the people, like you said, the Snoop Dogg and all these people, they're saying that the people with money and is doing okay, that it's been said that they're the one who want to vote for Trump because they want to make sure they stay in the position that they're in.
Well, right.
Not necessarily.
It's about business. Like Dr. Anderson talked about, it's about business and the law. If when you get the money, then you can pay the folks to make the laws. That's what has been happening in the country all the time. The people who got the money, they really make the laws. And then we're arguing and fighting down on the lower end. And it doesn't mean anything because you don't have, you're not in control. Money control this world.
Let me chime in on this, and also to the caller. He has a point, and I want to just make this point. The system that you might be talking about, I want to challenge you to go back to looking at our founding principles, meaning the Declaration, the Constitution, and, study those documents. Because when you understand the document, you'll see that we are not functioning today according to those documents. We are not functioning according to the system that our founders gave us. We are functioning according to a more progressive society. This is a society that has moved away from its constitutional republic. And that's why they call it a democracy. I don't pledge allegiance to the democracy. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. And see, we don't say that anymore. We don't pledge that anymore. They don't say it in school.
And
kids don't know it.
Let me jump.
So
we shouldn't pledge.
Tell you is,
we shouldn't pledge.
I know. We should. But here's the point. Though. The point is, you look at, like, for instance, global warming, or now they call it climate change or energy, all this energy stuff. Look, only certain people are getting rich off of that. Elon Musk is making electric cars, but not everybody's making electric cars. So if we go back to the old system of gas power, we like.
There's a problem. There's a problem with that.
Oh,
you run out of gas.
Only problem. But
you run out of.
The problem is not what we think it is. We're never going to run out of oil. As long as God is making earth work. God has given us oil, and God is not going to let us run out of oil.
What do you base that on?
Have a nice day.
What do you base that on?
Have a nice day, Rosie. I'm out.
Yeah. All right. What do you base that on?
I'm basing it on the fact, Rosie said it earlier, Dr. Rosie said it, that not everybody believes in God. Okay, fine.
Okay.
But I believe in God. I'm going to make a case for God. So
All
you
right.
can make, if you want, no disrespect, but if you want, you can make the case without God. But I'm going to make the case with God. So
Okay.
the case with God that He made the earth, the heavens and the earth. He made everything that is in it. And He is the dominant one of the earth. The earth is His. The earth is God's.
Okay.
Mine.
Now, let me jump in.
So,
Let me jump in here.
Statement,
Keith.
almost done. So He will not allow us, man, to go without as long as we follow His contract.
You're supposed to be a steward of the earth, though.
Look, you guys.
We are.
There are some people that you can't
but he
be
told
in.
us to
You can't be more righteous than they are. But they are hungry. They are homeless. They kids. And it speaks in there where it said, "I've never seen the righteous forsaken or the seed beg for bread." We need to really look at those biblical scriptures. He knows what's best. That's one thing. Yeah, I'm getting ready to write some new songs. There's certain songs I don't even want black folks to sing anymore because they sing themselves into slavery. That doesn't make sense. But listen, Keith, someone said the other day that God was so good, He protected Donald Trump. He protected Donald Trump, but he allowed the other man to get killed. Now, see, I have a problem with these religious fanatics who take it to the extreme. Now that's a whole nother show. We're going to have to keep
even the Surgeon General said guy was protecting Trump that day because he should have been dead.
What kind of foolishness is that?
Foolishness? In other words, I talked to like 10 guys that experts in the military and experts with those weapons and said the only thing standing between Donald Trump and a burial plot is God, because that shot was dead on. That if he had not moved his head at that fraction of a second, that bullet would have been his brain.
Okay, so God wanted the other man to get killed, right?
God did not have Donald Trump
to do with that.
in the process. No, God always. I have to say, God always stands in for a lot for And we have to remember.
Let's jump off of that, because I may say some things that I may never get. I may never get in a church again. Okay,
I'm trying to help you out, Dr. Rosie. I'm trying to help you out. God is here, and He is.
Dr. Rosie.
I know He is. Y'all trying to get me put out of every church in America. That's why I'm glad they have church online. That's the only time I can get my little spiritual uplifting and go online, because they don't want me in these churches, and you guys about to make me say something, and I'm not going to do it. So, Keith, y'all better stop.
Girl, you better stop. Oh my God! I tried to help you out just now, Dr. Rosie.
I know you.
Yes, I said yes.
Oh my goodness.
Doctor, have you considered the fact that the man that was shot, the man that was killed, he was laying on top of his daughter and his wife, and if he hadn't have been there, they would have been killed. So there's two lives that were saved also. How's that? Have you ever thought of it like that?
I'm going to go for that. I know there's God, but I don't take it to the hill. Black folks really take it to the hill. I'm just going to sit here and wait on God. They looking for a job. I'm going to wait on Him. If it's His will, you better get up off your butt and go look. I ain't going to get on that. That's a whole nother topic. Okay? Boy. But come on, you guys, quickly. What do you think Donald Trump's strategy is going to be, really?
Not to mess up.
Well, I think his strategy is going to. I think his strategy is he's going to talk about the taxes.
You have to go back and look at when she was actually running for president the first time. How come she got less than? Hold on, let me finish.
I'm listening.
How come she got less than 2% of the vote? Okay, when she ran in the primary, right? And I heard a white lady analyst say that she's unlikable, she's unpopular, and she's not presidential. Okay. Those top three things, okay? And she has not demonstrated, because when she went down to the borders are, because they gave her like 5 or 6 assignments to actually see how she would do as president, right? She failed them all, okay? That's like I don't think Kamala Harris really wants to be president. I really don't, because I don't think she's capable of doing the job. I really don't. If I thought so, I would be more inclined to go with her, right? But the thing is, the only reason Kamala Harris is where she is right now is because they cleared the decks, thinking that Donald Trump was going to go to jail and Biden would run unopposed, okay? And when Biden has to campaign, he's incapable of campaigning, and since you cleared the decks of everybody else, there's nobody else, okay? If you want your money, you want your delegates, you don't want to shatter the Democratic Party in like 10 different factions, she's your only choice right now. So she's the default choice. That's the reason that Kamala Harris is there right now. They don't have
what you're saying that they're praising Biden for taking this major, making this major decision.
He was
but
forced out.
If you flip the script, instead of that praise and making him the greatest hero ever, that it might need to be turned around.
He did not have a choice, right? Because this is something that my group talked about like a year and a half ago. Okay, the reason they cleared out all the decks and chased off most of the Democratic rivals is because they wanted him to run unopposed, because they thought they had Donald Trump in the trick bag. But unfortunately, like the Joker or the devil, whatever you want to call him, got out of the trick bag. Now what do you do?
God let him out, huh?
You know what I think? You know what I think, Dr. Rosie and Keith and everyone? Mm-hmm. I think that instead of worrying about the other person, what they're talking about, and bad-mouthing the other person, I think that as politicians, that they should speak about exactly what they're going to do. The strategy to win is not to bad talk Kamala or Kamala bad talk Trump. Let's talk about the economic policies and what's going to happen. How are we going to help homelessness? What type of law and order are we going to do? And what are we going to do for immigration control and things like that? I think that's what's important.
The public going to have to demand. The public going to have to come out and demand. I don't want to hear all this other stuff. We don't want this political forum to be like the one you all have had in the past. We are not having it because it's detrimental. It's not helping us. We're gonna turn the TV off if we're gonna not watch you.
Yeah,
and
I think even in debates, even in debates, they need to keep their own opinion out of it. If you like Trump or if you like Kamala, you keep your own opinion out. Don't cut another person off just because you like the other person.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Let them speak. They do it, but it's wrong.
It's going to happen.
It's not the proper thing to do.
But the top
it's horrible, actually.
The top three things that Democrats can't do anything about, and this is something that Biden was going to lose on if he had to run against Trump, is you got extreme inflation, okay? You got 2.5 wars, and you got an extreme migrant problem that you can't handle because you imported like 12 million migrants over the past 3 years. So in other words,
we really needed that.
We have to talk about that offline. But the thing is that we don't have time to talk about it. But the thing is that there's one guy, he actually demonstrated why Biden probably was going to lose this race, right? Even if he ran, okay? If he was healthy, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. He said 2 years ago, he bought I think 45 items from Walmart, right? Okay, and it came up to $124, right? So he's shopping on Walmart, and he sees the rebuy button, right? A buy again button, right? So he hit the button. Same 45 items cost him $414. Okay, 2 years later. That's the problem with Biden. That's the problem. That's probably why he's not going to get to be president again. It's called bread and butter. It's pretty clear as far as the average consumer, right? Everybody goes into the supermarket and see the prices jump, right? You see the cars that you can't buy anymore, right? You see I mean, you're in real estate, okay? The house prices have doubled since Biden has been in, okay? You can't sweep that up. You can't sweep up importing 12 million migrants and then giving them benefits so they can get jobs, okay? You can't sweep that up, right? You can't sweep up that you've given like $250 billion to the Ukraine in the war that we shouldn't have been in, okay? Can't sweep that up. You can't sweep that up, okay?
That's on the report card. That's what we mean by report card.
Oh, yeah.
There's something on the board. Can you read it before we jump off here?
Okay.
I like what Keith was saying about that Ukraine. I mean, here we are, they're diverting money, our tax dollars, our money out of our pockets and giving it to somebody else. I mean, come on, we've been doing this too long. Trump said,
there's a reason.
We got to go to the board, though, because our time is about up.
Okay. Is it still possible that Donald Trump could be sentenced to jail before the elections? No.
No.
This election cycle seems to be for the brain dead. Actually, you better think about this one, okay? It's not for the brain dead, and simply makes America look as a laughing stock. In the world, I really wonder, have people ever really listened to Trump's incoherent message, and he can't possibly be running for anything? America is a circus of clowns at this point. In other words, basically, and this is something that I said, actually did a podcast, right? I said America should have fixed this a long time ago, right? The Democrats set up, I'm going to put it on the Democrats. The Democrats set up this particular thing. Okay, Republicans didn't do it, right? Democrats set all this up, right? They chased off the donors for the Republicans on one side. They repressed a lot of your Democratic rivals on the other side. They set up this contest that they thought they could win between Donald Trump and Joe Biden, right? And Joe Biden was not up to the task of holding it together. And so the Democrats have to hold this L. Okay, they're gonna have to hold this up because it's on them. That's like we don't see Obama or anybody else talk about what the Republicans did because they know what they did. Okay, I saw this stuff being set up like 2 years ago about them clearing the decks and repressing all the Democratic rivals because I think Biden pretty much ran unopposed in the primaries, right? I don't think anybody opposed him. That's for a reason, right? RFK Jr. tried to run as a Democrat, right? That's the first thing they do was they pulled his security details. You're not going to get Secret Service. In other words, you're Kennedy running for president. Okay, you're going to get shot at. I'm gonna ask you to pull your Secret Service security. Okay, that's telling you can't run in this one, son. Okay, because you have a name. They did this stuff on purpose because they thought they had a winning hand. But guess what? The hand didn't win. So now you're stuck with what you have because you pushed all the chips on the table. In fact, somebody said this, right? Okay, to quote the Dark Knight, right? When the Joker killed Harvey, right? We bet it all on Harvey, right? And the Joker took him down. That's exactly what happened. All your bets were on Biden, and basically he got taken down by the Joker because you couldn't put him in jail.
Well, I think what's going to happen is what our guest Keith mentioned. Before we go off, there are people going to raise the issue of being appointed versus being voted on. There are people going to have that question. They really are. That's going to come up.
I always ask the question, outside of Michelle Obama, who can't run, okay, who in the Democratic Party can take Biden's place besides Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
That's the question.
That's the question, and there's nobody. I always get that.
Also the facts are that USA, if you go to usaspending.gov, it shows in 2017 we spent $6.1 trillion. In 2023, 9.3 trillion was spent. 10.1 trillion in 2021. Everything went up from $3 trillion. What are we doing with these funds? And our place is getting raggedier and raggedier. Our streets are raggedy. Everything is. People are able to go run out of the stores with $800, $900 worth of goods without being stopped. Companies are going out of business behind it, and no one's caring.
You're having to build more schools because of the many different people that you're allowing to come here. You have increased the Medicare. You have increased Medicare. I can't imagine what percent that you have increased Medicare.
And what other country has a deficit that large? My God.
Really?
Nobody.
That's yearly. That's annually.
Nobody. We have the largest deficit.
Pretty soon we'll be owned by somebody else. That's what's going to happen.
That is what's trying to happen.
It's called a default, but you don't want to see. You don't want to see what a default looks like.
No.
But you guys, before we close off, because it's 11 o'clock, guest Keith, we appreciate you staying on. But this is the first time you listen to our show?
No, I've heard you guys before. I just don't. I just rather come on when it's something I can talk about or something I understand, like this. This topic is Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh,
I agree.
it is. I'm probably too knee deep into this tough topic. That's so.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
what you
you are.
I'm
Yeah.
just
You
giving you a
are.
little. I'm just giving
yeah,
you. You've heard me before. I'm just giving you like scratching
yeah.
the surface of it.
My closing
Oh, I love
statement.
it. This is my forte. I mean, I know there are not a lot of us who really involve ourselves in this kind of conversation, but I
Yeah,
sure do.
I know way
I,
too much.
but I want to say
And
in
we shouldn't get
closing, you
we shouldn't
guys.
get angry.
Right.
Go ahead.
In
Oh no,
closing, don't be
no.
mad at.
At different people's views, right?
Oh, go ahead, Dr. Rosen.
Don't be angry. Don't be angry with your
Yeah,
husband because he want to vote one way and you want to vote another one.
exactly.
Right.
Demand
Matter of
Don't.
because
fact, I'm kind of surprised.
when people start talking to you about either one of the candidates, I want you to stop them in their track and ask them why. What are their policy? Why are you voting for them versus because
Mhm.
Exactly.
she black or because so and so said it? Folks, please don't go by so and so this time. Look at what's going to be
Yeah.
good for the country. Okay,
I'm
our time is
surprised.
up.